Good day, I am Shiva Kates F. Llamo, and I will be presenting to you my research paper entitled Ease of Doing Business in the City Human Resource Management Office of Butuan City. I am from Caraga State University of Butuan City, Philippines. My presentation outline are as follows. First is the abstract, followed by the introduction, designs and methods, results and discussions, conclusions and recommendations. This study aimed to determine the level of compliance of ease of doing business and efficient government service delivery in the City Human Resource Management Office of the City Government of Butuan. Specifically, this study determined the level of implementation of CHRMO frontline services as assessed by the participants in terms of citizens' charter provisions, access to government services through frontline services, report card survey. Descriptive research design was used in the conduct of the study. Participants were the internal and external clients of the office. Using the Cochrane's formula for sample size determination, the researchers selected 200 participants with systematic random sampling as a sampling technique. Overall, the assessment of the level of implementation of the CHRMO in terms of the Citizens Charter, access to government service through frontline services, and in terms of report card survey are extremely high. Although the level of satisfaction of the participants were high, still, the CHRMO needs to enhance further its delivery of public service. Despite the presence of law which criminalizes acts of bribery, extortion, abuse of office, and conflict of interest, still, legislative framework is not adequate to improve service delivery. Government agencies were described as inefficient, inaccessible, and unresponsive even though they have higher compensation with less responsibility compared to private sector. The present administration tries to stop this dilemma through strengthening the results of accountability in carrying out government programs for the delivery of effective services. It also determines the entitlements of agencies and employees on rewards and incentives. The performance-based incentive system is adopted in 2012 to recognize exemplary accomplishment of high participating agencies in achieving their commitments. It increases their compliance to governance standards, including the existing laws and regulations like the anti-red tape program. It generally promotes transparency and accountability both business and non-business transaction in delivery of government service. As a local government agency, the City Human Resource Management Office of the City Government of Butuan, being the gatekeeper of all the workforce in the agency, has adopted the said law, the RA 11032, to provide better, faster, and friendlier services to all transacting public. For the methodology, descriptive research design was used in the conduct of the study. This will help in obtaining information to systematically describe the sample population. Also, this aids in observing and measuring variables used in this research. The participants of this study were the internal and external clients of the City Human Resource Management Office of the City Government of Butuan, catered by the office from the period of October 17 to November 11, 2022. A written permit was sent from the City Human Resource Management Office for the conduct of the study. Upon the approval of the request, the researcher distributed copies of the questionnaires to the external and internal clients of CHRMO. The responses were then gathered and tallied and given corresponding statistical treatment. The researcher assured the respondents that whatever information they will give will be held with strict confidentiality. Said research instruments were validated by the two experts. For the statistical treatment of data, the assessment of the clients regarding the implementation of CHRMO frontline services based on the three components of RA 11032 were analyzed and interpreted with the use of the following scale of the statistical mean, range, value, and descriptive equivalence. Frequency counts and percentages was used to describe the demographic profile of CHRMO such as age, gender, status of employment, types of employment, and highest educational attainment of the clients. While Mann Whitney U test and ANOVA were used to test the differences in clients' assessment of the implementation of CHRMO frontline services when clients are grouped according to their demographic profile. The socio-demographic variables considered in this research are sex, age, employment, and educational attainment. It can be gleaned in the graph that majority of the respondents were of college level and mostly aged 35 to 44 years old. In addition, out of 200 respondents, 100 are female while 92 are male. I will be presenting to you the problem with its corresponding statistical treatment, findings, conclusions, and recommendations. The first problem is about the level of implementation of CHRMO frontline services as assessed by the clients. For the first component, which is the Citizens Charter, the corresponding statistical treatment is mean with the overall weighted score of 4.96 or strongly agree. For the second component, which is the access to government service through frontline services, the corresponding statistical treatment is mean with the overall weighted mean of 4.89 or strongly agree. For the third component, which is the report card survey, the corresponding statistical treatment is mean with the overall weighted mean of 4.89 or strongly agree. For the second problem, all of the three components were measured by Mann-Whitney U-test and ANOVA with its corresponding findings as presented. For the second component, still under the problem number 2, it shows that there is no significant difference in the client's assessment in terms of access to government service. For the third component of problem number 2, result shows that there is a significant difference in clients' assessment of the implementation of CHRMO frontline services in terms of report card survey when clients are grouped according to their age, gender, and type of employment. The third problem talks about the level of satisfaction of CHRMO frontline services as assessed by their clients. It shows that the level of satisfaction is high with a mean of 4.19 taken from the client's feedback. Therefore, it is concluded that the study failed to reject the null hypothesis since there is a significant difference between the participants' assessment of the Citizens Charter provision and their age. In addition, there are no significant differences between the participants' assessment on the access of government service through frontline services and their age, gender, status of employment, and type of employment. Moreover, there is no significant difference between the participants' assessment in terms of report card survey and status of employment. However, there are significant differences between the participants' assessment and age, gender, and type of employment. Thus, it failed to reject the null hypothesis. Lastly, the participants are highly satisfied with the implementation of the CHRMO on the three components: Citizens Charter provision, access to government service through frontline services, and in terms of report card survey. Hence, the participants' assessment of the three components are extremely high, while their level of satisfaction is high. It is desirable for the CHRMO to harmonize the services given to the permanent and non-permanent employees of the city government of Butuan, considering that the non-permanent personnel outnumber the permanent personnel. It is ideal to incorporate in the manual of operations all processes and procedures executed by the office to deliver services to both permanent and non-permanent employees. It is ideal to regularly revisit the CHRMO Citizens Charter so that the services rendered and the responsible personnel are updated. It must be noted that the Citizens Charter is the guide of all the internal and external clients of the office. It is mandated to be posted in a conspicuous place as a requirement under RA 11032 and RA 11292, otherwise known as Seal of Good Local Governance Act of 2019 and ISO 9001:2015. As to the relationship between the implementation of the services and the demographic profile of the participants who are considered as clients, it is important to note that the prime working age is between 25 and 54. There must be a proper understanding as to the inventory of this age bracket and the nature of services they regularly ask from the CHRMO. Also, the demographic profile of the clients must be in full consideration in the delivery of the CHRMO services. As to the level of satisfaction of the clients, both internal and external, it is ideal that the CHRMO must continuously check the client satisfaction ratings. The established mechanism for evaluation of the client's feedback must be strengthened, analyzed, evaluated, and articulated to all divisions, handling the strategic core and support services of the office. Thank you for watching, and I hope you will find this presentation useful as your references. The references of this presentation are posted in this video as well. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoyed watching my presentation.